So I'm talking to my high school buddy the other day, and I said, Barry, where are you today? And he says, well, I'm sitting here in my mom's living room celebrating her 99th birthday. I went, oh. I got a little selfish. I was thinking to myself, my mom died at the age of 60. That's 39 more years that they had together. And I go, ooh. But then Barry reminded me, I said, Don, I remember your mom. And there were lots of times when I was younger when I wasn't all that welcome in my house. And guess where I stayed? With your mom. I ate her food and I drank her beer. And she was a mom to me. You know, I could never figure out growing up how much money my parents did or did not have. If you want to know what I make, it's on page 14 of the annual report. The whole world knows what I make. I could never figure it out. Every Saturday night, they'd sit at the card table watching Perry Mason. And my dad would pay bills on Saturday night, and sometimes he had his hand in his forehead, and I go, oh boy. And so I said, Dad, how much money do you make? And he just looked at me and said, enough. And he drove my mom nuts because he would never buy clothes, especially no shoes. He was kind of an executive. He wore wingtips. And whenever his shoes got old, he would take them to the little cobbler, and he'd fix them. And when the soles went bad, my mom was always embarrassed because when he knelt for communion, there'd be a hole in his sole. And he would go to the hardware store and buy those plastic soles and glue it to the bottom of his shoe. So finally I said, Mom, I'm going to buy Dad some new shoes. I said, Dad, what size do you wear? And he says, well, Don, I wear size 9, but 10s feel so good I buy 11. And I said, So I just gave up on that one. Then I remember when I was in high school, my mom got a job. She was always a stay-at-home mom, but she worked at the junior high 2 days a week for $2 an hour. And I got worried. I said, Dad, why is Mom working? And he said, egg money. And I said, Dad, what's egg money? And he said, someday you'll find out. Well, I grew up realizing after time that egg money was not about eggs, and it wasn't about money. That egg money was about a way of life. It was about a perspective. It's how you look at your cup. It's how you look at your life. It's about how you look at the lives of others. It's about how you look at your wallet and your checkbook and your kids and your parents and the goof down the block. It's about your heart and soul. It's about the way you walk and carry yourself. Mother's Day has so many feelings. I was thinking of Joel and Jen who were here. They lost their little baby last year, but now they're expecting a new child. And so Mother's Day has kind of a lot of emotions to go with that. I was thinking about some of you right in here. Just this past year, you've lost your parents. This is your first Mother's Day without your mom. Some of you, I'm sure, wish your relationship with your mom was better than it was. And so Mother's Day has kind of a bittersweet feel to it. And then, my mom's been gone for 35 years. And I miss her every day. And I'm thinking of all the stuff that she missed out on. She never got to meet Jude. She never met Layla or Nova, let alone Peggy and her kids. And yet I do believe that somehow from her perch up there that she sees us and can somehow be a guardian angel. But anyway, I was thinking today as I was looking at the Bible, and I'm not a biblical scholar, my mom loved to volunteer. That was her life. And I'm not sure how it was in your home church, but in our old Lutheran church, they had these women's groups called circles. And they were named after biblical women. Monday, the Sarah Circle would meet in somebody's home. And on Tuesday, it was the Esther Circle. And on Thursday, it was the Mary Circle. And my mom was the chairperson of the Dorcas Circle. And boy, did she get abused by my brothers and I for that. And I remember one day getting ready to go to class, going to school, and my mom was frantically dusting the house and polishing the silverware. And I said, Mom, what's going on today? And she said, well, it's the Dorcas Circle. We have a meeting today. And I said, Mom, what the heck is the Dorcas Circle? And she said, someday you'll understand. And that's all she said. So a couple of days ago, I'm out back and looking at all the bricks and the people that I love and the people that I miss. And I was thinking of Layla's mom, and I was thinking of Mike, and I was thinking of all those people that have gone before. And I come back in and I look at the first lesson. And it's the one that we read today about Dorcas. And her trademark was good works and charity. And the story is that she dies, and all of those that she helped, I mean, she made clothes for everybody. They take their clothes, they lay them on the floor, and they ask Peter to come in, and Peter touches her hand. And somehow Dorcas comes back to life. And there are so many times over the years when you lose somebody you love, you wish you could touch that person's hand and have that person come back to life. But then I realized the purpose of the story. The miracle is not that somebody comes back to life. The miracle is that in every act of kindness that you may choose to do, the spirit of giving and the spirit of Dorcas and the spirit of the person you love and miss comes back to life. In every moment when we're humble enough to step back and jump out of our own skin and make the journey of someone else just a little bit better, then the spirit of those we left behind comes back to life. It's like Dorcas, she did that so many years ago. She comes back and makes a difference. And the people that we love and say goodbye to, they never really leave us because their heart and soul is in the very guts and fiber of who we are. I hadn't been here very long, maybe a couple of years, and I decided to go back to Glen Ellen and spend a day with my mom and dad. And when I got to the house, nobody was there. And so I was kind of hungry, so what else is new? So I go in the kitchen and I open the refrigerator door, and it's packed. I mean, cheese, lunch meat, milk, beer. They didn't even drink beer. Leftovers from the day before. All kinds of stuff from top to bottom. And my mom gets home, and I said, Mom, my brothers and I, we've been gone for years. What's all this stuff in here? And she said, you never know, Donnie, when someone like you is going to come by and be just a little bit hungry. And I said, can I take you and Dad out for dinner? And he says, no, I think we should have leftovers. I love leftovers because in her life, leftovers were a delicacy. But without saying a word, she taught me when it comes to eating, leftovers are okay. When it comes to giving, you don't give what's left over. You give from the very heart and soul and bounty of who you are, from the very depth of your being. I finally, after all these years, realize what Egg Money and Dorcas have in common. Amen. If you're able to, please rise for the creed. It's on page 105.